Hello, everybody. This is Dave Wallace coming to you from my home here in Waiwa, Hawaii, and it's Monday Talk Story Time. And welcome. I'm sorry I missed you last time. We're quite busy. There was a lot of deadlines that I was facing, and it was crunch time, so I had to focus on my stories and get it out. I'll start today by first making the announcements. First of all, we have 7 books out now on Amazon. Only available on Amazon, and I have one that is that actually a hardcover, and that's my first book that I put out. It's called The Journey of Our Soul, and I have ebook and paperback and hardcover copies. I still do have some of the hard copies left, but I'm holding them, uh, for different opportunities. And one of these opportunities is a contest that I'm holding that's ending on October 31st, and that's a challenge. You're gonna have to get on to my Facebook or visit my uh, newsletters, okay, and provide me with your email so that I can send you the contest. But the latest contest that I have is for people who've been reading my books. You should have no problem answering the questions, okay? And so these are questions that I have about the books that I wrote, certain characters that you need to name, uh, and good luck with that. All right. So more of that later. Anyway, so I have a contest going on. That's one announcement. 7 books out. You're really good. In fact, the next book that I'm releasing this coming Friday, uh, this coming Friday is the book that I've been pretty happy about, and this book is called "There's a Ghost in My House." Okay, and thank you for your support on my first attempt at this and my first book. And the first book was "Ghosts, Angels and Ghosts of Shingles Hospital," and that has been a really popular book. A lot of people have been buying the paperback copy as well as the ebook. And so, since there's an interest in that, I decided to, uh, publish a second book in a series that specifically talk about uh, ghosts and spirits that I encountered in homes. Okay, and these are homes that I either lived in or was called upon to um, kind of eradicate or solve a problem that was happening in a home. And there were a lot of them over the years. Since I became an adult, there's been a lot of different cases. But what I try to do is pick 10 stories that shows a different variety of spirits. So they're not the same kind of spirits that keep on coming back. Each one of these 10 stories are unique spirits or entities that entered the homes, and that's what makes this collection of stories pretty special. And the common theme with all of the books that I'm writing in this particular series is that these are stories that happened to me. Okay, I'm not telling somebody else's story that happened to someone else. This is something that I either witnessed and was part of the process in resolving, or this happened to me in my personal space right in here. And tonight I'm going to be sharing with you an interesting story. Some of you may have heard about it before, and I think I wrote about it in The Journey of Our Souls. And I'll be talking about my mother's visitation. Okay? And what do you do when a parent comes back from the grave and scolds you and tries to manipulate you to get you to do what they want? Okay, and this idea of parents um, losing interest in you when they die. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. When they die, they still care for you and they still see you as a little baby that they delivered, for me now 69 years ago. So they are, their concern and their love for us is there. Okay, continues to go even uh, now that they're dead, especially now that they're dead. Okay, so that's what's happening. And as far as my Annablaze series um, is going, right now we have two of them out, Annablaze Origins. And for those of you who bought early editions of the stories, we did go through and clean up the stories. Annablaze Origins, unfortunately, we had a team of writers helping us write this, and I wanted to go see how the story would show up by hiring someone else to write my stories, and didn't come out that well. Okay, so we're going back and we're fixing up some of the problems and some of the things that's happening there. We're also doing it with book number two. So book number two is hidden. So book number one and book number two in the Annablaze series, we had professional writers who were writing that. Unfortunately, some of their visions weren't the same. And now that it's been out and we've been looking back and actually reading back, we found several issues with that. So we're updating and upgrading the stories to make it more, um, palatable, I guess, to us. Okay. Now, the third Annablaze book that is coming out called Awakening. This one is all on me and Elle. We're the ones that's writing this. And from this point on, this is where we take over. Okay. And so hopefully it improves the storylines. Okay, it's coming straight from here. Okay, we're having fun with that. So anyway, those are the announcements I have. The Annabelle series, we're actually working on the fourth book right now, and the third one is being edited. And the fourth one, we're not too sure what we're gonna be naming it. I'm pushing towards calling it Unleashed, because in this one Anna comes out with her powers really strong. Okay, and for those of you who've been following the book, mahalo so much. You folks are keeping the ratings up really well on Amazon, and I thank you so much for that. If you folks have any questions about anything that I write or any suggestions you folks want to improve the book, remember, any type of suggestions you make only helps me create a better product and create a better story for you and your friends and your family to enjoy. Okay? Anyway, now talk story time. Coming back to different types of spirits that enter homes. Now, this is a major part of my service to people, and that is helping people deal with entities, spirits, demons, or energies that enters a home or is part of a home that they're moving into. You run into many of these problems in energy or spirit problems when you're moving into a home that's been used by someone else, have a long history of certain activities happening in there, and also the location and the material that was used to build the home. Um, over over the many years that I've been a Kahu, and actually as a person that has been called to help others, It's amazing here in Hawaii that people haven't learned that, rocks that are piled up on each other that makes a wall. It's not a good idea to take these rocks and make your stone wall or use it in a foundation of your home. Don't do that. Okay? You're inviting trouble. So there's many, many different types of spirits. And some of these spirits also will come in to your home because they disagree with you in what you're currently doing. And when you're doing something that an ancestor or family member disagrees, sometimes the spirits of these deceased people will come and bug you and they'll let you know exactly how they feel about the decision that you made. Case in point, in 2014, I decided to become initiated as a Kahu. Okay? And if you don't know what a Kahu is a title, basically. The word itself means caretaker or steward. So it's not a kahuna, yeah? There's no na over there. A kahu is different. A kahu is a person that accepts a responsibility to carry a certain mission or goal in their life. For me, this mission was to help other people just like me who were born with natural gifts and talents, but for family or church reason or reasons beyond your control, you're dissuaded, in fact, ostracized for um, you know doing the things that come natural to you. Okay, and so as a kid, one of the people that was trying to keep me away from fully exploring my abilities, especially in my ability to see hidden things. I mean, I could see people, gifts and packages and things like that, what they were giving me for presents. Before I even open them up, I know what says there already. Okay, and I could do that as a kid. And my mom, seeing that I was kind of gifted already, um, in a lot of ways, she was trying to keep me away from my grandma on Molokai, who had gifts, very similar gifts. And my grandma on Molokai um, saw this in me, but she couldn't do anything, and I couldn't do anything. So long after my grandma died and my mom passed away, that's when I decided to become a kahu. And as soon as I made the decision, one night I was in the room in my office space where I was using, and I was on a computer, and I felt this really strong energy enter the room. And as soon as the strong energy came, I kind of like looked over towards the door, and I sensed someone familiar. I didn't. At first I didn't know who it was, but after just kind of like probing who this person was, I realized it was my mom, and she wasn't happy with me. And the first thing out of her mouth to communicate with me was, "I don't want to be. I don't want you to be a kahuna." Really, ma? Who said I'm being a kahuna? Or you taking this class and you're gonna be a kahu, right? See, yeah. Kahu, kahuna, they're the same. And I said, no, ma. First of all, I have no intentions to become a kahuna. In fact, I don't know anybody alive here in Hawaii that can actually make me a kahuna. It's something I have to be trained in. Okay, and I don't know. I've never met anyone that could help me in that, and I have no desire to be a kahuna, really. Yeah, but this thing and stuff that you're doing, why are you doing that? You're already on Mormon, you don't need to be on kahuna. And I said, Mom, again, I'm not being a kahuna, and this has nothing to do with my religious thought. This is a spiritual journey for me. And she went on a rant, and her ranting and stomping and pacing in the room back and forth was so strong. My wife could sense it, and so she came and said, "Hey, what's going on?" So I told her, I told my wife what was going on. And she says, "Oh, whoa, your mom is pissed because she could feel the energy behind this." And so there I was. I had to contend with my mom putting on a tantrum, and the tantrum that she was throwing, um, again, was based on a misconception that she had. She didn't understand what I was trying to do, and she wouldn't listen to my explanation because all she knew is that she thought I was going to be a kahuna. So this went on for a couple of weeks. Okay, every night, boom, 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 like clockwork. She was there in a room, pacing up and down, mad, and she even tried an old ploy with me by saying she was gonna disown me, and I had to kind of laugh. I says, "Mom, you've been doing that all my life, threatening me to disown me. When is that gonna be final? If you're gonna disown me, and let it go. And she kept us. She was even more mad after I told her that. I said, "Disown me, I still love you." So I went and I tried to calm her down, and there was no way I could calm her. And finally, on the evening that just before I got initiated as a kahu, um, you know, my wife and I got into a big beef. Yammer, 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 yammer. And I came away from this so disheartened, and I told my wife, says, I won't cancel this. And I sat down and I thought about it, and I says, if I cancel this, I defeat everything why I'm going through this. My mom is gonna be over there laughing at me and says, "I told you so." And I says, I'm not doing this for mom. I'm not doing this for anything. This is a decision I need to make. And so, my wife and I had ho'oponopono. We made things right, and we understood that, our fighting and this idea of me stopping just before I reach a goal that I wanted to attain is something that was happening throughout my life constantly. I'm right at the point where I'm about to accomplish something, and the bottom falls out. And this case, becoming a kahu, is something I couldn't let slip by me. So I finally said, "Okay, we're gonna do it." And so I went to sleep, and early in the morning, one of the signs that came to me early in the morning that I was on the right path is that one of my ancestors, a very high-ranking kahuna, came to me and woke me up and called me to the window of our room. And our room faced the main road. And when I woke up and looked outside the window, there was a long line going all the way up the street and wrapping around the corner. And this long line of Hawaiian warriors standing with the ihe. And at the front of this line stood a giant of a man wearing a yellow wearing a yellow cape, a feathered cape, and a yellow mahiole, the helmet that goes up there. Okay, and he was carrying this huge ihe spear. And when I saw him, he kind of like looked at me and just nodded, and I nodded back. And my ancestor told me, "You know what? The Eli is waiting. The koa waiting. We're waiting for you." And he told me, time to get up and go. So this was in my dream. So I woke up and prepared, and we went down. Now, that was the first spiritual ancestor that came to me saying everything was okay. When we got to Kahu Point and met up with the people that were going to be initiated that day, we found out that we have to walk about a half mile on a trail towards the place where we were going to be initiated. And as I started walking out, and I had my walking stick with me, and my wife was with me. And as I'm walking, off to my left, I see someone step up in front of me, to my side, and he doesn't say anything, but he's walking with me. And as I glance over, I see my brother Bill, who had passed away. He smiled. He was wearing his yellow kihe and a wreath on his head, mailele, and he also had a ko'oko, and he was walking with me, and he was smiling and he was happy. So that in itself, my brother coming and following me until we got to the place where I was initiated, that was all I needed to confirm. Now, interesting, while I'm walking with my brother, I see my mom way on the periphery, on the outside. I could see her flashing back and forth, and she was all excited trying to get my attention, and but something was keeping her away from me. Didn't want her, looked like my ancestors didn't want her to come and disturb me. So I went through the ceremony and got initiated, and I started the work and accepting my responsibilities as a Kahu. And everything was going okay for a while. My mom was coming back, once in a while, but what I noticed is that her anger and her fury at me was slowly dissipating, because the longer I started working and doing the things that a Kahu does, things I'm responsible for, it showed that I wasn't making any sacrifices. I wasn't calling on Hawaiian gods or anything like that. That was the last thing I did. And so for me, my focus was on helping people, helping them heal, help them understand the situations that they felt. That was my goal. And it took my mom almost 2 years. It was a couple years before finally, one day, I was sitting in the room working on a computer, and I started noticing something sweet. And as I sniffed around, I could smell gardenia. And I'm looking at, did somebody bring gardenia in the room? And I thought my wife had sprayed some of her gardenia scents, but no, this one was the fresh flower. And I smelling, and then I felt a presence in the room. And as soon as I put gardenia and a spiritual presence in my room, I knew it was my mom. And my mom had come to my room with fresh gardenias. And so I smelled, and once I verified her presence there, I told my mom, "Oh, thank you, Mom, for sharing." And all my mom says, "Well, I love you, boy." And she disappeared. Now, by my mom saying something like that, or even addressing me and bringing flowers, was her way of apologizing. My mom rarely apologized, but it was her way of saying, "Hey, I'm okay with it now." Ever since that incident, my mom has never questioned what I do, and as a Kahu, and if anything, she's given me support in what I do. And for that, I'm very thankful, Mom. Anyway, this is story time for Monday, and I hope you folks learn something from this, and please share. And for those of you with Kindle Unlimited, hey, download my books. It's free for you guys, okay? Okay. Anyway, if you want a cocoa, that's the way to cocoa, okay? Without spending money. Anyway, until next week, this is Dave Wallace from Waihawa, Hawaii, saying mahalo for watching and aloha.